As you beat UCLA yet again. It's another Pac-10 title. Do you feel like your team, as hot as it is and now getting healthier than it has been throughout the season, deserves a shot in the national championship game?
Well, yeah, I think if we had a chance to play it off, we certainly would be. We'd have a real viable shot at winning the whole thing. You know, we were hurt in the middle of the year, and we're not hurt anymore. We're back and rolling, and so it's exciting for us to have finished strong like this now that all of these things continue to happen. Boy, I sure wish we were in the middle of this thing to play for it.
We see your resume as we're talking to you here. Pete Carroll, head coach of USC. You win the Pac-10 title again. You're 3-1 against ranked teams. You've been red hot, 116-51 during this 4-game winning streak. You see a McKnight, who's, as the old cliche goes, not a freshman anymore. He's playing at a higher level. Booty's back. The O-line is healthy. There is no playoff. It seems obvious that their fans would love something along those lines. Do you think that there's enough of a groundswell, given a season like this, that perhaps we can hope that someday soon we'll see something?
Well, I sure hope so, because as a true competitor, man, you want to keep battling and see what happens at the end and go for it. And I think everybody in America understands that, and that's our all of our sports society is all built on championships and playoffs and those kinds of things. And it's just college football that hasn't been able to figure that part out. I have no answers for how to do it, but I sure know we would love to be playing, and I know there's a lot of other teams that have the same thought, too, that they want to be playing for this thing also.
I hate to put you in a position where you sort of have to politic for your team. I mean, your team said all it needed to say on the field in winning today. But, I mean, if LSU is going to go out and win a conference championship game and perhaps vault its way into the title game as a two-loss team, why not your team? Given all that you've been through over the years and given the fact that, as I said a couple of times now, with Booty back and the O-line together and healthy, you're as good now as you've been. Why not you?
Well, I don't know. Somebody else has to figure that out. I hate politicking, too. I just know we had a really good football team starting the season, and we got banged up, and now we've returned, and we're playing good football now. I think our defense is playing better than anybody in the country, and I'd love to put them up against anyone. Our quarterback's healthy. Our guys are ready to rock and roll, and I don't know that we're going to get any stronger. I think this is the team that people thought we were going to be, and we just had our problem when John broke his hand in the Stanford game, and that's unfortunate. We weren't able to pull that thing together, but now, here it is now. Who's the best team in the country? I'd love to have a chance to play for it, that's for sure.
Pete, one last quick thought before we let you go. We reached the last night of the college football season, and we have a system in place where we have absolutely no idea who's going to be playing in the title game.
That's right.
How unsatisfying is that to you, a coach and a competitor?
Well, I've been hollering for playoffs the whole time, ever since we've been here. I mean, I don't know any reason why you wouldn't. I understand there's other arguments, but this is exactly the reasons why. And we love to see how far we can take it. We've tried to win every championship we had a chance to win since we've been here, and we've taken care of the Pac-10. But this other deal is a different ballgame, and unfortunately, because of the way the thing votes, it's almost like they're picking a team that has the best season as opposed to who's the best at the end. And I'd love to be taking a shot at it right now. We're pretty excited about our football team. Well, if it's a beauty contest, you certainly got a team that's a pretty girl. Whether they're pretty enough to play in the title game or not, we will soon find out. But if it's the Rose Bowl, then I'm sure, Pete, that will be a nice parting gift. That you can't complain too much about that. We love the Rose Bowl. We love playing there. We love playing for as our conference champion. It's the goal of our program until we get a shot at this top thing. And so we're very proud of where we are, excited about that chance. But let's see what happens here. It's going to be interesting. That it will, as has been the whole season. Pete Carroll, coach of USC, we certainly appreciate your time here tonight on SportsCenter. You got it. Thank you.
Game USC, UCLA. In the first quarter, Chris Markey takes a handoff, fumbles it, and the Trojans recover. 2 turnovers for UCLA in the first 7 minutes of the game. Ensuing possession, Joe McKnight in from 5 yards out, 7-0 USC. 14 seconds left in the half, down 17-zip. Patrick Cowan lofts it up. Dominique Johnson. Now remember, UCLA with a win coupled with an Arizona State loss, they were thinking Rose Bowl. Johnson doing all he could to get his team there. UCLA, though, down 10 at the half. Early fourth quarter, 17-7, 3rd and goal at 3. Stephon Johnson stopped for no gain. A holding penalty called on USC. He elects to push USC back, bringing up 4th and goal, and John David Booty finds Fred Davis underneath, gets in the end zone. 24-7, Rose Bowl bound. BCS expert Brad Edwards crunching numbers. Brad.
All right, assuming that Ohio State is going to move to #1, that leaves 6 teams with a realistic chance to finish at #2 in the BCS standings. Let's start with the teams that are currently behind the Buckeyes in the pecking order. Both Georgia and Kansas failed to win their division titles. Some people will say, well, that's okay because there have been 2 times in the BCS era that a team failed to win its conference title yet played for the national championship. Those 2 teams, Oklahoma in 2003 and Nebraska in 2001, both fell out of the top 2 of the polls, and if the formula had been the same back then as it is today, they would not have played for the national title, so that needs to be pointed out. You've got LSU and Virginia Tech coming after that. LSU beat Virginia Tech head-to-head by 41 points earlier this year. I don't think that can be ignored. Then you get to USC and Oklahoma. 2 teams that are not very strong in the computers coming into this week, and I think either one of those teams will have to be a very solid #2 in the polls in order to be able to hold off whatever team is ranked right behind them. My logical conclusion from all that, it's going to be Ohio State and LSU playing for the national title.